Okay. It's enough for that, I believe. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining us for the Red Alert Final Conference. I hoped actually that we will meet face to face in the real world, but at least for the last official meeting, or maybe the one before the last, because we still have the review on November, but unfortunately due to the current situation, we had to do it in the virtual world. On the other side, this represents actually the two worlds that our project is dealing with. The LEAs are operating against the threat of terrorism in the real world by detecting terrorism contact in the cyber world. And in this Red Alert project, as we will see shortly, real-time early detection and alert system for the online terrorist content is the case. So this is the agenda. It will last for about 2 hours, this conference. Adrian will start with opening remarks and a general presentation of the Red Alert project. I will talk about the threat of terrorism in both real and cyber world. Berta from INSIKT Intelligence, we talk about the technological response to the threat. Mihai from SPP and Yaniv from Ops will elaborate on the police use of the technological tool. And then we will have a demo video of the Red Alert tool. We will open then the floor for questions if there will be any. And finally, Monica, our coordinator, will share with us her conclusions and opportunities behind the Red Alert project. So thanks you again for joining us. And Adrian, the floor is yours. You may share your presentation. Adrian, you're on mute.
Hello, everybody. I'd like first to introduce myself. I'm from SIMAVI, the coordinator of the project. And I have the difficult mission to introduce in 10 minutes a project that lasted for more than 3 years now. So, so the Red Alert project, Horizon 2020.
Adrian, can you please share the screen?
Okay, now I have access. Sorry. Okay. Can you see it? Can you see my screen?
It's okay now.
Okay. Thank you. So the project in brief, we have participated all together, all partners to this Horizon project. So the project was initially planned for 36 months and has been extended to 40 months lately. It was mainly due to this situation today with the global pandemic. And it was organized in 2 periods. One lasted the first 18 months, and the second part started in 2019 up to now. This first part was ended with a review, which allowed us to confirm the advancement of the project and also to gather the expert advice on technical and ethical matters. So I think we can go to the main objectives. First, objective was to provide a toolkit for LEAs in order to collect the data coming from the social media channels. And we have managed to gather data from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Telegram, OK.ru, and VKontacte. This list was agreed with the partners in the first stages of the project, and we managed also to treat languages, different languages, the main of interest being presented on the screen. So the Red Alert has managed to provide these tools in order to make and allow LEAs to take coordinated action in real time. And in the same time, we have been very careful about the privacy of the citizens. Speaking about the participants, we have been 15 altogether, coming from 7 countries. The main participants, the law enforcement agencies, were coming from Spain, from UK, from Israel, Romania, and Republic of Moldova. Also from Romania came SIMAVI, and from Malta we had one association of lawyers that helped us to deal with all the problems that are relating to the ethics part in the project, and to make sure that everything happens fine from this point of view. On the participants on the technical sides, we had both small and medium enterprises as well as universities. And in the category of the commercial partners, we had interview from Israel, INSIKT from Spain, Maven, and coming from Hungary, and ICE, Information Catalyst for Enterprise, coming from UK. In the academic organization, we had the participation of ICT from Israel, ELTE from Hungary, City University of London, and Birmingham City University coming from UK. So the project was driven mainly by innovation. It's normal, and it's what we tried to realize and to contribute to the objective of the realization of the ideas mainly. And this innovation has been materialized by creation of the complete toolkit. The data acquisition, it was one of the modules that allowed to do the extraction of the data from the different social media. And the anonymized structure were created for feeding the analysis modules, including the meta-learning functions, social network analysis, and visualization. I will let Berta from INSIKT to go further with the description on the technical part later on today. So looking at the activities, what we have been organizing the work in 11 work packages. And I think the most important one and the most difficult one to complete was the work package 1, which was the system specification and architecture. All partners have been involved, and the requirements were expressed by the user, which determine the overall shape of the system and the component details up to infrastructure dimensioning. The work package 2, 3, 4, and 5 have ensured the development of the core modules, the specialized components which are processing the data. So regarding the overall architecture of the system today, so the work on core modules has provided the base of the integration in work package 6, which has completed the system with the orchestration part, which is the integration layer, and also with the data collection from social media. I think we will have a view also of the, I'm sure they will get an overall view of the user interface by looking at the presentation, which is made later on. So finally, the pilots. I spoke about their location, but there were some roles that have been performed by each of them. And for example, for the operational part and in the simulated mode, SO15 from UK has prepared an exercise that has been performed with the other partners together. So for the dissemination, I think ICT did a great job. We have a complete dissemination report now, and we think that we can benefit from the dissemination when speaking later about the exploitation of the results. The ethics and data privacy, we were helped by MITLA in this part, and we had two reviews of the situation. We had to include an external DPO with which has helped us to prepare data protection impact assessment, which was accepted at the commission level. So regarding the main technical results, we have started with different modules which were at different level of development, and we brought them at the what is called technical readiness level at the demonstration capability. So we could demonstrate during the project with the help of the pilots the capability of the system today. So we also work together based on these results to find opportunities for exploitation of the system. So I think today we have, for the SMA part, strengthened the products offering, and we have now a tool that can be presented to law enforcement agencies, and that brings functions that have not been provided by a complete integrated system today. So we think also about the opportunities for participating to future projects using our results. So this was a picture that was taken at the beginning of the project. Now, in these conditions, I think the people could not stay in the same near positions, and we will need a football playfield to show all the people that participated in the project and respecting the right distance. So I let Uri continue with the presentations and continue the conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adrian. I think that we are also about 3 years older than in this picture. Yeah. So another second, if I may. Another second. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, I will talk today again about the two worlds that we saw, the real one and the cyber world. And as you know, terrorists are very innovative groups, challenging us day after day, forcing us to find the right response. So let me share with you a few examples. This is the shoe bomber. Richard Ray, the British guy with ties to Al-Qaeda, was caught on American Airlines flight from Paris to Miami with IED, improvised explosive device, hidden in his shoes, and the response, we need to take off our shoes when we are entering airports. Al-Qaeda, 2006, planned to carry out simultaneous attacks on Canadian and American planes traveling from London to US by smuggling liquid explosive in soda bottles. And the response, we are not allowed to board with more than 100 cc. But as you know, not always it works. 2015, we had the Russian airplane depart from Egyptian airport in Sinai. And the airplane crashed after the explosion of a bomb that was hidden in a soda can. All 224 passengers and crew members that were on board died. 2009, underpass bomber, Abdullah Omar, a Nigerian guy, attempted to detonate plastic explosive hidden in his underwear while on board of a Northwest airline flight from Amsterdam to Detroit, Michigan. Response, we are being screened since then in the airports very, very deep. All of us, not all of us are happy with those procedures, and some of us might become frustrated, as you can see in this short video. It's a Russian man stripped naked after the screening machine beeped and beeped again and again. This video is from a Pakistani airport. The man is new to X-ray procedures, doesn't really know what he's supposed to do, getting guidance from the security guy, and obviously doing what he's supposed to do to put the bag in the screening machine. But as you will see shortly, not only the bag, but also himself. So it's not easy always to comply with the instructions. So we might not be happy when somebody we don't know is touching us. We might hate the idea that our dirty laundry shows in public. I'm not sure also if this guy liked the procedure he had to follow in Poland. I don't know if you know him, but the youngsters, again, us might, it's Justin Bieber. And in this slide, we can see the evolution of terrorism in cyber world, both in the social media platforms as well as in the darknet. We don't have time today to go into details, but this increased use of social media, it's clear, I think it's clear to all of us, because it's an interactive tool with vast potential audience. That audience can be easily segmented, and that it's easy way to incite lone wolves and to provide them with necessary information in order to conduct an attack. Regarding the increased use of darknet, here we have actually no governance arena that helps keeping the identity anonymous as well as the information. In this way, no tracks are left, and also the darknet gives a better impression for potential donors and recruiters to do the things. And lastly, in this arena, it's easy to coordinate with criminals, like to buy weapons and things like this, because they are already there. I'm sure that most of you are using social networks in one way or another, but on the same time, I'm sure also that some of us are not familiar with the darknet, a place where you can get whatever you want, what you actually need in order to buy illicit drugs, guns, ammunition, fake bills, fake documentation, cyber attack tools, whatever. It's only a software that you can get almost everywhere. You want a gun, the darknet is your place. You want to compare different prices and qualities, please do. If you're interested in a fake passport, passports are not so much in use now, but let's hope it will be in use soon. Here we can see example of 2 quality fake passports that were discovered a few months ago on an Iranian couple traveling in Ecuador. In the upper side, you can see the original Iranian passport, and on the bottom, the fake Israeli one. Good job, by the way. And here you can see bad quality of fake Israeli passport, very bad. Circles are showing the typing mistakes. This is if you want to buy counterfeit notes. Here you can see the regular sense of business is applicable also in the darknet. Buy more, get it cheaper. You can buy 5 notes of 100 each, i.e. $500 in 250 only. And if you will buy 1,000, you will pay only 450, etc., etc. Drugs, if you need, both narcotics and medications. By the way, no doctor prescription is necessary. So that actually what needs to be done in order to fight terrorists, as we can see here, is to get into the darknet, to get into the cyber, and to fight over there. But the first thing we need is to know what is the problem, to identify the problem. This guy is not doing a good job in identifying the problem. I hope that the international community is doing a better job in identifying the problem. Anyhow, we think that this is the problem. The terrorists are using the internet for almost everything. And in this slide, we can see the categories that ICT, that we divided the terrorism use of internet. There are other ways, but in the bottom line, you can see that terrorists are using the internet for almost everything that exists. So the traditional war against terrorists, the one we use from the physical world, the real one is not enough anymore. We need something new. And the only way that we can fight terrorism is a good intelligence to know their intention before they execute their plans, to know what they are planning in advance. And this intelligence obviously is not important only for the cyber, but it's critical when we are talking about the cyber world. And this is what is our project about. The Red Alert combines artificial intelligence, technologies to collect, process, visualize data. And I won't take Berta's part in the technological aspects, but few words about the challenges that the project faced. So obviously, definition of terrorism, what is terrorism content? I don't think that in this conference we will solve this issue, so let's leave it aside. The innovative technology used by terrorists. We talked a little bit about it, and I will focus now in the next few slides about the problem to identify between terrorist content and legitimate one. And the main problem is mimicking. What you can see here is a shooter video game, which know under the name Call of Duty. But here we can see a shooting simulator used by ISIS. And instead of Call of Duty, we got here Call of Jihad. And this is the last scene. The killer is caught by police after manipulating them to arrive to the location where the pre-delivered decapitated head is in a box. This is from 7 film. And this is the execution of James Foley. Here you can see Mr. Robot, the original banner. And here you can see the Cybernetic, the Digital Terrorist Cyber Warfare magazine in a German language, imitating the name and the design of Mr. Robot. And we got, instead of Mr. Robot, we got Mr. Thor. Here on the left side, you can see recruiting campaign to the German army, while on the right side, it's a jihadist campaign of recruiting German people to ISIS. We like the minions very much. This is the original banner, and this is from Cybernetic. Let's see if you can identify if this is terrorist content.
The way to remember
This shows video actually present the main problem in identifying between terrorist content and legitimate one. Is this a terrorist content? Which organization is behind it? I'm sure that most of us don't know the answer, but now, yeah. So this is actually not terrorist organization by Polo. Language is a huge challenge, mixed English, Arabic, characteristics, words, a big problem that we are facing. Now you can see a false positive or negative. If you can identify between terrorist and non-terrorist, maybe in those pictures it's easy, but it will be difficult to say if this guy is doing the tawahid or not. But now we know because he has the flag, ISIS flag, and here we think that is actually teaching a family member, but this is a terrorist. And false positive, false negative. You can see an article that was written by Stevie. Stevie is with us now, I hope, which is terrorist content, but it was published by ICT, CNN, the same problem. And the last challenge, the data privacy, the GDPR. Adrian talked a little bit about it, so I will jump. 1 minute for the terrorism dilemma. What you can see here is that states actually have responsibility to protect the citizens' security by providing the LEAs with counter-terrorism tools, including intelligence gathering, deterrence, prevention. One of it is the tool that we are dealing with, the Red Alert tool, in order to gather intelligence. On the other side, states also have the responsibility to protect our human rights, privacy, freedom of speech, access to information, freedom of practicing religion, equality under the law, etc., etc. And obviously, if LEA are entering social networks, there is a problem with our privacy. So the whole idea is to find the right balance. And as you can see in the question mark, there is no much room for this balance. So different states are willing to sacrifice different values accordingly. And I would like to finish with this slide, with this photo. It was taken in Morocco. You can see that those animals that are not used to climb trees are doing it. They are doing it because they don't have enough food on the land in Morocco, and they find a solution. They're climbing trees in order to have more food. And this is what actually our leaders need to do, to think out of the box in order to find the solution, the right balance to fight terrorism on the net. So thank you very much, and I will invite Berta to continue. Thank you.
Hi, Yuri, thank you. Can I share my screen?
Please do. You're allowed to do it.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you see my screen? Is it fine now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. So I will show in this following presentation an overview about the technology that is behind the Red Alert tool. The Red Alert platform integrates 6 main components. These components have been developed and adapted along the project and are from the partners from private industry and also from academia. The 6 main modules are the one of data acquisition, the data anonymization, the analysis of text, the social network analysis, the multimedia analysis, and the complex event processing. So I will comment each module and the techniques that use each of them. So in the component of the data acquisition has been developed a code for real-time data acquisition. It connects the Red Alert platform with the different social networks official APIs, the ones that are available in the present platform in Red Alert are YouTube, Instagram, Be Contacted, OK, Russia, Facebook, Instagram, and Telegram. These APIs work with accounts. The accounts are not provided by the platform itself, but they should be accounts from the users. And the data acquisition works by crawling these APIs with keywords. So the user inserts some keywords. For the searches, these keywords are parsed to the social network APIs, and the posts with these keywords are returned to the Red Alert platform to be analyzed. Actually, the Red Alert system also allows to analyze offline data from text CSV files, as well as images and videos. The component for data anonymization ensures the data privacy of this tool. It identifies which are the fields that should be encrypted. It pseudo-anonymizes these fields as you see here in the example on the right, for example, the proper names are anonymized. So in the dashboard, we have data privacy, and it's a pseudo-anonymization because this tool also allows to specific users to de-anonymize the information and recover the original data. In the component for text analysis, we identify the language of the post coming from the social network sources. We extract topics, we extract key ideas, we extract concepts, and we analyze the content, giving probabilities of this text to have content in specific domains as jihadist, terrorism, or alt-right, or also it allows to customized models to extract probability in specific domains that the user is interested in. The text analysis is performed in more than 10 languages, including English, Arabic, French, Romanian, German, Russian, Hebrew, Spanish, Italian, and some others. Just here I put an example. This would be a post coming from social networks using the word Syria. The user used this keyword, then posts start coming into the system. The system detects that is in a post in Romania, and the text analysis gives concepts, for example, probability of being in alt-right domain, low one, and possible to terror related, it's flagged as false. The social multimedia analysis, it's a component that is in charge of the textual transcription, so it converts audio to text. It also detects some objects in images and videos, like, for example, guns, flags, and other symbols. And also it detects when a post has some audio events to transfer it to the speak-to-text component. The technology behind is based on machine learning and deep learning. The social network analysis component, it analyzes the relation of the users that are the authors of the post that income this system. It allows to display this information by selecting specific parameters of the networks. This component also detects temporal communities, and it also can predict edges as link predictions. At the end, we have the complex event processing. This would be the main flow of the system. The data inputs. The data goes through the data enrichment component, which is the social multimedia analysis. So it detects if there is audio or images or videos. It goes to the data privacy component. It anonymizes the data and goes to the analysis of the text. At the end, all these inputs coming from the different components go to the complex event processing, which is the model that would generate or not an alert. So this complex event processing module, it performs the alert generation by working with different rules and thresholds from different parameters. The red alert tool allows the user to define which are the parameters coming from the different components and which are the thresholds that would use better the generation of the alerts. So just to end, this was a big challenge to integrate all these components in this big platform. Overall, the platform of Red Alert is based on big data integration technology with Java, Spring, Angular, Jester, a lot of components, MongoDB, among others. And it also has big data visualization technology behind. And at the present moment, it is possible to install it on premises and also as on cloud, as we have been tested during the pilots. So thank you. That's all from my side. I don't know if any in the audience have any question I can answer, and also the other partners involved are very welcome to answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Berta. We will have now SPP joining us, talking about the needs and the use of the Red Alert tool. Razvan, Mikhail.
Hi, Woody. Hi, all. We are here.
Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Can you hear us well?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Great. Today, I'm not going to use a presentation because I have to tell you a few words regarding the project, the functionalities, and a short overview of the gaps that LEAs usually encounter, and some of the hurdles and steeps required to overcome different problems that LEAs face day to day. Of course, that we LEAs usually invest large sums of money in this zone, in this field, gathering different components, and usually they allow LEAs to carry out their intelligence work, but they require high level of human work or include for some tasks related to data collection, filtering, large ways of manual work that could be automated. They are usually reactive rather than proactive. And in that way, the human analysts have to take most initiative for event of or topic of interest identification and triggering of analysis, with little to no capabilities of automating event topic identification or notification. This proves to be a large drawback because it's very hard to react when you face problems similar to the ones Uri showed us in his very descriptive presentation. When you're facing terrorist content and terrorist actions and terrorist propaganda, it's very hard to be reactive. You have to be proactive if you want to do something in that way. So this is what we envisioned Red Alert to be, a tool that helps us recognize entities, match them, categorize domains and topics, analyze relationships between different posts, sentiment analysis on social networks, geographic localization of messages and maybe members that post terrorist content and propaganda. Different, usually in general, classifying terrorism specific actions, like recognizing emojis, and as the other presentations very well put out, mixing different languages and characters. The ability to identify across social media platforms is very important, and is something that we wanted from the very beginning to be able to the Red Alerts tool to be able to do it. Recognize trends and geographic area of action. This is a very, very important thing for us. Also regarding social network analysis, which is one of the primary means used for generating terrorist content and sometimes putting legal actions between different organizations. We need detecting networks of relationships among terrorists and different groups of interest also network dynamics, link prediction models, hierarchy reconstruction on social media models, centrality measures of nodes, centrality measures of edges, cluster nodes in social media is something that we wanted Red Alert to do because these are highly time-consuming tasks when we have to do it manually or switch between tools for different entities to be classified and well thought of. Prediction of terrorist behavior is something that we wanted from this kind of analysis, and basically to recognize patterns or deviations from usual baselines that every LEA has in place. Of course, this is where the complex event processing comes in. It was a tool or a component that we thought very highly of, and we needed specific actions from it, like, of course, generating alerts and sending them to people that can stop the evil at the root and be very quick and specific in their actions. And we needed these alerts to be very configurable and to be very specific. So we could send them something like a very red alert, as the project's name says. So it can be used only in very specific measures for very high use of force. Other data sources and triggers like registry of commerce operations would be very interesting to be integrated in the CEP, or the options of sending alerts by API to other systems, so we could integrate our ecosystem of tools and be even more efficient in our work that we do day to day. As Berta pointed out, multimedia processing is a very important thing in today's world, where much of the content is in images or in movies or in generally media stuff. Like voice recognition extraction is very important to pick them out from videos of propaganda or videos from events that took place and were captured using surveillance techniques or other things, or sound events produced on the street, for example, is very important to be able to distinguish an explosion or a gunshot that takes place on a very busy street or in a very busy junction. Also processing videos and photos to recognize persons, and then clustering all those up and see where different persons appear, persons of interest regarding terrorist propaganda and terrorist actions, where they appear in same posts or even in pictures regarding places, pictures taken in different places. Also, the recognition of items in images like guns, logos, flags are things very important for clustering different content and sieving quickly through different batches of images or media content. The determination of location from background noise is a very sought after feature, and the possibility of linking up different locations based on their background noise also is very helpful in an investigation when you have to deal with a lot of video material or pictures from social media. Also, the data visualization is very important for the operator because it helps them view data easily and have a graph in front of their face and not being they don't need to stare at walls of text or hundreds and hundreds of words on a blank page. They can see nodes, they can have alerts, and the sentiment analysis can be done very graphically. They can see links between different posts and links between different posters, and this is a very great help for analysts which are working in this field. And also this makes the data analysis very intuitive, and it can help the analyst have a direct link between different posters and different messages. Even if we're on the side of the LEA, we take very much interest in privacy preservation, and this is why the data anonymization component was of interest for us, and we want to keep all these things very private and anonymous, as it can help us, and only de-anonymize data when it's absolutely clear that it's this is going to the content, and the analysis takes us to the thought that there's going to be a terrorist attack based on what we see. So we see a lot of potential in using the Red Alert tool, and all of these tools combined and the components combined, and we hope that it will make our actions much easier from now on and be more effective in our job.
I would like to add something, Uri. So I like very much your dinosaurs in your presentation, because it highlights very well the current situation. Okay, Mihai said something about our needs. We have the project results at the end, but from a technological and scientific point of view, we prove that everything is possible. We can do good tools to help LEAs, but in the same time, it's a matter of the society who must decide which is the best way to act. Do we want to provide LEAs tool to do their job, or we are more focused on GDPR issues and stuff like this? You said very well that it should be a balance. This, I think, it was the major in the project, the major I don't know the word, milestone, let's say. Yeah, the major gap. These things made our job very difficult, but in the end we succeeded somehow. So this is related with the use of Red Alert tools after the end of the project. We did a good job. I think from a technological point of view, everything is good, but at the same time, you know, Facebook is trying to identify terrorism on his own pages, but in the same time, they want to do it by themselves, not together with LEAs, not to support LEAs and stuff like this.
Well, I suppose that the social network platforms need to do also a kind of a balance between the business activities and the basic idea that they were designed in order to make money on one side, and with their responsibility to the society in general on the other side. So there is also a balance in their hands, a balance that needs to be done.
Exactly.
Great. Thank you very much, Razvan and Mikai. You finished from your side?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're supposed to have Yaniv from Ops now, but I'm not sure that.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, perfect. So the floor is yours.
Just let me share the screen.
You are allowed. Yeah, we can see.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna present two case studies that I've been talking about them previously, including the last workshop. These case studies are actually the main reason for us to go and search for a tool like Red Alert. And I must tell something that I shouldn't tell, but even during the test, we found the system so effective that we made the tests a little bit based on real-time operational needs. So the first case study, as you can see, it's what we call, we have the nickname, I cannot share it exactly, but we have seen actually in 2014, there was a case of a terrorist that opened fire in Jerusalem near Herod's Gate. He was using an improvised weapon they called Gustav. But what we could see later on when we further investigated the case, that actually his Facebook page has a lot of posts glorifying the shaheeds and terror and calling for terrorist attacks. Actually, it was out there. You just should have looked at that and see that and get the alert for that. And that's a really, really good example. Even several hours before the attack, he posted 2 remarks about he's going to be a shaheed. What we can see here is actually 2 different needs. First of all, to get the early alerts for something that's going to be, that's actually indicating any fundamentalistic intentions, to get an advanced alert. Just take a look at that. It's not yet a terror activity, but it's pointing toward that, something that we as law enforcement should take a look at that. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, when you actually get in real time a post that, hey, I'm going to be shaheed, that's a different kind of alert, a real-time alert that we need, that you also get from online activity in the social media. Okay, what crime and terror are doing on social media, we all know pretty well. I will not repeat what others have said, but actually we can see everything. And each one of these bullets is actually an indication for us to get an alert, whether it's the recruiting, the propaganda, and the public support. The public support can indicate, first of all, okay, that this sport is being popular. It means something that we should look at, but it also can give us an indication, okay, who is the public, who supports this kind of thing. Maybe they are linked to this terror activity also. The online communication, even operational synchronization, everything is going, and you'll be surprised how much information is out there in the open web, even operational synchronization between terrorists. And of course, the financing and the rest. Another case study that you can see, it's a case study of someone that actually was reporting bombs in different places. It started in schools in New Zealand, later on in Denmark and Germany, and at the end, at the peak, it was he was reporting many bombs on commercial flights in the U.S. and Jewish community centers also in the U.S. He was doing that. The reporting was by the web, but it was a voice over IP communication. But what we could see, he had a lot of other activity where he published his intention. He sold that as a service. It wasn't his own intention. He was actually selling everything as a service. If you wanted, for a school to be evacuated, you had this rate. For a commercial flight to be taken down, it's a different rate. So this activity, his publication about what he's doing, what he's selling, and how he's doing that was also online. And I wish we could get the alert for that. First of all, to know in advance, but also as a tool for the investigator actually to find and locate the source. Who is it related to? Because that was also one of the challenges while we were on the investigation. I mean, even after some of the incidents had already happened, we got the call, schools were evacuated, emergency support was launched to the field and everything. We still didn't know who he is, what his origin, why he's doing what he's doing at the beginning. We had no clue whether there are kids who is just playing and being tricky, or is it really a terror organization that's actually checking how the field's reacting, how the emergency forces reacting in the field. We had no idea. If we had the ability to get an alert for related information from the web, it was a very big advantage for us. And that's actually our mission. First of all, finding the data and then understanding it. And that comes from everything. Social network is the main source for that, but also digital forensics and cyber intelligence. And we have other stuff that related to cyber investigation. But what we need is the alert, the link analysis, filtering out what is not necessary, but also enriching all the data that we have that can be enriched from this online gathering of information. And that's how Red Alert help us. That's what we actually do, the real-time detection. the mining, the analysis, but also, as I said, the post-event investigation. It's another vector that is very useful, and we actually, while the testing, we test this option with Red Alert. Will it help us investigate something that already happened? Can we get the post that our analysts have missed the post when it was posted online? Can we get it with the help of the system? Here's another example that the system can help us. It's not exactly. I have two information. This is two different examples. The first of all is about another one that also posted an image of a knife and tools before he's going to be a shaheed. This is just an information that you can get from the image because there was no, excuse me, there was no textual description to the post. So image processing capabilities like we have can be very useful. But the other example that you can see, the post in Hebrew, I put the translation in English, it's not about terror activity, but it's about something else that also one of our main challenges, and a system like Red Alert can help us a lot. It's what we call about getting alerts about suicide intentions of people, mostly young people, and we see that a lot. We get a lot of alerts, but most of the alerts that we get is either from other systems that are not focused on this demand, or from other people that saw that this information on the internet and just make the call to the police. But system like Red Alert can also help us with that, prevent cases in real time, if we put it as a subject, as something to target. What you can see is actually people reacting to someone's post that he actually posted that he's going to commit suicide. He has no will to live anymore. And a very, very long post. What you can see here is the real-time reactions from other people. System like Red Alert can give us alert also about these kind of topics, which is very useful. That's it. Well, that was a very quick brief about it.
Thank you very much, Yaniv. Very interesting. We will see now a demo of the tool.
Alert system. This
Can you
is
see
the
it?
Red Alert portal. There are 4 types of users that can access the portal. They are coordinator, analyst, super user, and administrator. First, a user of type coordinator will log into the portal. The coordinator oversees a team of analysts whom receives tasks from him. After the coordinator logs into the portal, he has several options available. First, the coordinator will see the dashboard, where the status of the case files that were assigned to his team of analysts or to himself in the last month is displayed. He can also see the case files assigned to him or to the members of his team. He can filter by several criteria or sort them. He can also see some charts regarding these case files. The coordinator can add a new chart. Several types of charts are available for different information in a case file. In this new chart, the user can see the types of case files. How many of type evaluation, investigation, or surveillance exist? The coordinator can also access the statistics menu. This page displays information about the online and offline data that was collected by the system. Also, there are charts displaying when the collected data was posted and when it was collected. The user can filter by case file or a case task, by the period of time data was posted or the period the data was collected. If he selects a case file, he will only see the data collected by tasks associated with that case file. The coordinator can also see the alerts detected by the system. They can be filtered or ordered by several criteria. There is also a history tab for older alerts. Other options that the coordinator has are using the data visualization component, importing several offline files, changing the language of the portal, and managing his account. Now, the coordinator will access the case menu. This menu is used to manage the case files and tasks, to assign them to analysts that are responsible to collect and analyze the data. In short terms, this is the menu that collects the data used by the rest of the system. A case file is used to group the information and actions needed to be done by the team for a new analysis of a subject of interest. First, the coordinator will create a case file. In order to create a case file, all mandatory fields need to be filled. These fields are marked with red. The user can choose a priority, a case type, or a classification level. All these fields can be changed by the administrator. More options can be added if needed. A name and a short description of the case file can be added. At the end, the Save button needs to be pressed. The case file with identifier 187 was created. The coordinator can filter by that identifier and the new case file will be displayed. A case file can have several case tasks of different types associated with it. More analysts can work on a single case if the coordinator assigns them tasks. A case task can have several types. File association for offline data collection. Online data collection to crawl data from different social media networks. Classifier training to add, if needed, new classifiers to the NLP component of the system. And de-anonymization. All the data that is collected into the system is anonymized. So, for example, if it's needed to find out who a user really is, a new de-anonymization task must be created, and the coordinator can approve it or deny it. Only if the coordinator considers that de-anonymization is needed based on the information collected, the analyst will see the real data. In Red Alert, the confidentiality of the data is very important, and additional steps and approvals are needed to access the real data by anyone. First, a file association type case task will be created. All the mandatory fields must be filled. The coordinator will assign this case task to an analyst in his team or to himself. Next, an online data collection task will be created. All the mandatory fields marked with red must be filled. The coordinator can assign this task to himself or to an analyst in his team. Next, the coordinator type user will sign out and the analyst type will log in to start showing how to import, crawl, or analyze the data. The analyst has the same options as the coordinator, but in the dashboard and the case files and case task menus, he will only see the ones assigned to him. He can order or filter by different criteria. This is the new case file that the coordinator created. The analyst first will access the online data collection task. The analyst can select one social network or several social networks to collect data from. For this demo, all will be selected. The available networks are Facebook, Instagram, OKRU, Telegram, Twitter, vContacts, and YouTube. A classifier for the NLP component can be chosen, or all of them can be used. If needed, more classifiers can be added. Next, some keywords for search must be added. A combination of keywords can also be used. The analyst can select on the map the area from where the post must be collected from. In order to start the crawling, the task must be saved. To start the crawling, two options are available. The task can be edited again and the user will press the Start button, or the crawling can be started from the Online Data Collection session menu. Here, all the online data collection sessions from the online data collection tasks are displayed. In this case, the task the analyst configured before. The analyst can enable it and crawling will start. The crawling has started. The analyst can disable it temporarily and enable it after some time. It can also be purged, meaning the data will remain in the system, but the crawling session will no longer be available anymore to clear system's resources. Or it can be deleted. In the Statistics menu, the user can filter by the case file, and only the data collected by tasks of that case file will be displayed. The crawling task already collected 3 tweets. The analyst can also import offline data that he has from other sources, using a case task of file association type. Here, he can upload different files like images, videos, JSON files in a certain preset format. The analyst will import an image and a video. Next, he will press the Save button and start work. In the Process Steps tab page, the user can see the steps that those 2 files are going through. These steps are the same ones that each post that is collected from social media goes through also. These steps are: first, string parsing and data enrichment. Data enrichment is only for media files. For example, in the videos and in the picture, the SMA tool detects different types of objects and the confidentiality of being that type of object. If the video has sound, the speech-to-text option of the SMA tool will translate the speech to text. After that, the data filter is applied and the data privacy. All the usernames and confidential information are anonymized, and only after they will be stored in the system's databases. Next, the information goes to the 2 NLP components of the system. All these steps are displayed for each file that was uploaded. The analyst can see the status they are in, when they started and finished, and the responses from corresponding components. The previous uploaded image is a young boy with a gun. The response from the data enrichment contains a frontal face that was detected and the confidence of almost 1 that is a person in the image. For the movie, the response from data enrichment contains a profile face, guns, and so on. To import larger files, the analyst accesses the Import menu. This is an example of a very simple file. In the production environment, this kind of files will have thousands of rows and more complex data. Next, the user chooses the file to upload and presses the Upload button. He can see in the History tab all the imported files and their status. The file just uploaded is in processing, and the user can also see some logs. The number of posts is 4, and the process instances were created. The analyst can access the Statistics menu and see there are already imported 3 offline posts and 27 from Twitter. The analyst will access the alerts menu. This is how alerts page looks like. When the system detects an alert based on a configuration the analyst created, it will be shown here. Alerts can be filtered or ordered. These are the last alerts. To configure an alert, the analyst will access the alerts configuration menu. Here are displayed all the applications already configured to detect alerts. The user will create a new one. If the case file is added, only the data from that case file will be used. If not, the data from all the existing case files will be used. The analyst must add two sets of keywords. For the demo purpose, a very simple alert will be added, using the keywords bomb and attack. The application was created and the user can see it here. Before he can run it, at least one rule must be added. Several combinations are available, including the type object detected in the media files. A simple one will be created now, where the probability of being a bomb attack is very low. The user can run the application, but before, he can also view or change the config file where several options are available and the keywords files. In the keywords files, he will see the keywords he added and some synonyms for them. The second keywords file also contains synonyms for attack. The analyst will start the application by pressing Run. In the statistics page, the user can see that more posts were collected. Also, the offline import is finished. In order to trigger an alert, the user needs to transfer the data to the CEP component. This is done by pressing Mongo to Kafka transfer option. This option must be pressed from time to time to add new collected data that pass over a threshold. For the demo purpose, a very low value will be chosen to trigger an alert. Usually, this is a long-running process and will take some time, depending on the amount of the existing data. Already, a new alert has been detected. The analysts go into the alert menu and order them descending by the creation date. There is an alert detected from the data collected on another case file, but with the alert configuration that was just created. The alert details can't be accessed. The keywords that fire this alert were bomb and miss from the first file and strike from the second file. Strike is a synonym for attack, the user added in the configuration. The media links from the posts that trigger the alert and the posts themselves are displayed. The user can also see the reason that triggered the alert. The data displayed is anonymized and looks like this. Several alerts can be detected by the system later based on this configuration. In the statistics page, the number of posts collected continue to rise. The analyst can access the data visualization menu. Here, he will select the new case file just added and the time period for the data he wants to view. He submits the search and needs to wait until the status is completed. For this case file, there are 108 nodes and 49 links. First, the user will retrieve the results. If any of the collected posts have geolocation information, here a world map will be displayed with points for the origin of the posts in the search. Unfortunately, they are known. Next, the user will press Post to S&A component. This component will analyze the nodes and the links using different algorithms. The results can be seen here. There is a network map. All this can be seen in full screen mode for a better view. Each node has the post associated. The analyst can also see the links between the users. Next, the analyst can see the predicted edges using different prediction algorithms. Here, the temporal communities and how they evolve over a period of time can be seen. Because the data for these case files was scrolled for a short time, we won't see something here. The analyst can also use another visualization tool for the alerts. He can go into the alert configuration menu and access the Grafana component where different information about the alerts are displayed, like the keywords, the posts, and the graphical representation of the time frame with different colors for different users that triggered the alerts. This was a short demo of the capabilities of the Red Alert system. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the voice behind the video, Monica Sukara. And now, Adrian, if you want to run the Q&A, if there are questions, this is the time. Any questions?
I think also we can use the chat for the questions if the participants would want to. If they identify themselves with the email address, we can send back the answers later.
Okay. So if there are no questions, yes, there is.
I have to admit, I'm seeing that there were some aspects which I didn't understand fully, but obviously it's the case.
Michael, you are not so clear. Can you speak slow, please?
Sure, okay, I'll start again. I said, seeing that, at least from my end, it was the first time seeing that presentation from beginning to end. Being a technical person, I can't say I understood 100% of it. There are always aspects which I would like to see again. So my question was going to be whether this presentation is going to be made available so that some of us, for instance, so that when we reach the meeting in November, we can be absolutely clear on what we're talking about.
So I could not hear you, but Adrian, could you hear what Michael asked? Adrian?
No, sorry. I'm just trying to.
So
okay, look, I'm going to type the question instead.
Okay, that will be perfect, even though we heard you now. Okay, so just type the question. And if there are no other questions, are there? If no, I will let Monica Flora, our coordinator, to talk a little bit about the opportunities beyond the Red Alert project and to conclude this conference. Monica, please.
Thank you, Uri. I will share my screen right now.
Please do.
I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we do.
I would like to say hello to everybody. Good afternoon, and I'm glad to attend and to participate in at this final conference of Red Alert Project. My name is Monica Flora. I'm the head of unit of European projects in SIMAVI. We are the project coordinator of Red Alert Project. I will not introduce ourselves, but just one slide for the persons that are outside of the consortium, just to know that we are the coordinator of Red Alert Project. We are a software company. We do different software developments and integration in several areas, cybersecurity, but also e-learning and e-training, e-health, customized application, and we have a very strong track record in European Horizon projects. We contribute also to the pilot deployment and then user training in those projects. And in security, we have many projects apart from Red Alert that we coordinate, and we contribute with our technical expertise on different aspects. I would like to share with you some funding opportunities. This is actually why I introduce our expertise in research projects, because I would be very glad to continue our work that we started together in Red Alert project beyond the project duration. That means that we are very open to collaborate with project partners, with some other entities that are interested in Red Alert project outcome and technologies in order to extend it beyond and to apply and customize and develop further on. I identify several calls that are open now, and I'd like to share with you some of them. So one of the topic is prevent radicalization. It's a funding by Internal Security Fund police. It's let's say a call that it's not similar with the Horizon ones that we run it, but the topic it's the call is open, and I think it's in line with Red Alert technologies. And the topic cover the following aspects. So has the following objectives. One, it strengthens the collaboration among stakeholders involved in disengagement and reintegration programs. So it's about designing and implementing collaboration models and protocols, also designing and implementing collaboration models and protocol for disengagement, but also reintegration work addressed to Islamist extremists, but also to right-wing extremists, violent right-wing extremists. So the two aspects are targeted by this call. Also, it's also calls that would like to address the expertise and trustworthiness of non-institutional partners, such as NGOs. Another outcome that this call tackle is enhancement of and the preparedness and of stakeholders involved in this kind of programs. It's putting an emphasis on train the trainer modules of the different professional profiles involved in this type of work within the program, addressing the violent right-wing extremists, but also the Islamist extremism, but and also some other, for example, foreign terrorist fighters and their family members. Differentiating between men, women, and children. Also, the call tackles developing and rolling out risk assessment methods that could be used both during the implementation and for all these measures. I just put on the slide, but I can share with all of you this information, the funding aspects, the eligibility of the course, because it's a slight difference between the Horizon, the funding rates, and apart from this, very fast. Apart from this call, I found out another call that might be of interest to you. This is European Defense Agency call, and actually it's about European Defense Industrial Development Program. This program has different funding. This is the budget that you can see it, the eligibility of the cost. But also you can see now the funding rates for different type of action. And I found out interesting because I actually identify three calls that might tackle our technologies. So one is defense capability supported by artificial intelligence, easily deployable and interconnected cyber toolbox for defense use, but also modeling, simulation, and virtualization tools, and equipment for training exercises, system design, development, and integration, as well as testing and validation. Apart from this, of course, there is the huge Horizon Europe program that we all wait for 2021. In Pillar 2, global challenges and the European industrial competitiveness, there is a cluster number 3, that is tackling civil security for society. And within this cluster, I extract some of, there is no, let's say, official program already launched, but let's say those research areas, the impact priorities are already drafted by Commission. And we can see that cybersecurity, it's among security and including cybersecurity, it's among the priorities that are included in this cluster. So we can see that we have, I identify here some of the priorities, and you can also see that fighting crime and terrorism, it's one of the topics that will be covered via the call that will be open in 2021, so next year. I will be very glad to continue our work at technological level, but also involving our LEAs. And I take the opportunity now to thank you all partners, and actually especially also the LEAs, but technological partners that were contributing to the project. It was it's not an easy topic, and it was not an easy project, but I'm very proud that we succeeded to finalize it, and we have a toolkit that was tested by our end users. I appreciate the work, especially in this terrible COVID-19 situation that unfortunately we have to face it. But again, we are very glad to continue. I'm aware that there is a lot to improve in also on technicalities of the aspects of the project, but also there is a lot to adapt, and cybersecurity, even especially in this COVID-19 situation, it's unfortunately a challenge that we have to face even more. So there is a lot of room of further development. I invite all of the interesting partners and the parties to tell us if they are interested to continue our work and to develop further the solutions. If you have questions, please let us know.
Thank you very much, Monica. We had 2 questions actually on the chat. One from Dominique regarding the pilot, or the trial as she call it. So the pilot's supposed to take something like 1 year, but due to some technological issues that we had in the very beginning, later on the COVID, we did it actually in about 2 months altogether, and we combined in a way the different tasks that's supposed to work one after the other. And either the presentations or the video, which will be easier to see it later on. If there are any other questions,
I just want to thank you, Dominic, for participating to our video final conference. And Dominic, because Dominic is the project coordinator of Victoria project, one of our, let's say, sister projects. And if Dominic, if you would like to share some of the challenges that you face during the project, or if you have to would like to intervene, please do so.
Thank you very much, Monica, and thanks for inviting me. I think it's a main challenge for all the project when they've got to have their tool at LEA's premises for trials, to have them. LEAs must have time to test them, and so it generates use of resources. But at the end, I think that it's good that it can be tested with real in real condition. And I remember it was Yarif who mentioned that thanks to these trials, pilot, sorry, so it could meet real-time operation needs. It is what I understood. And I think, yeah, it's the main challenge. I would like to also to share with you that we also will organize our final conference, virtual, of course, in November. And Monica, if I can share with you the information so that you can distribute it among the participants, would be great. Yeah, we will talk about, I don't know if you are all familiar with the Victoria project. Is the video analysis for investigation of criminal and terrorist activities. And we will have a demo also about our platform. So it would be great to have you amongst us and share your comments on this demo. And we will speak also about the technical challenges that we met during the project. So it would be nice so that we can share. I think we have all the same challenges within a project. So interesting, but so difficult to achieve.
Indeed, we have to, let's say, cross all this period, GDPR, you know, finding data relevant, facing with all the same, actually, the same challenging. But yeah, I would be glad to share the information about the final conference, and I will do my best to attend it as well. And thank you very much again for participation to our final conference.
Monica, I've got a question to ask you. Have you been approached by organization, you know, because your tool is very interesting. So I guess that, you know, I'm thinking about Europol and, you know, big organization as such, you know. Have you been approached by them?
We are in touch with Europol. They are interested in the project outcome, but we didn't. Let's say they didn't. Unfortunately, they couldn't participate to our conference. But they told me that they are interested in the project. We let's say we are in touch with them indirectly. They didn't use so far the tool, if this is a question. But we preview to. I mean, in our exploitation strategy, apart from the LEAs that are part of the participant countries, of course, Europol is one of our, let's say, target user.
Mm-hmm. And also, I don't know, I think that Yuri, you mentioned that the slides will be shared, but where?
On our website.
On your website, okay.
Link for that, yeah.
Okay, Thanks a lot.
You're most welcome. So if there are no more questions, we will have to thank all the participants and keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you all, and have
Thanks a
a
lot.
afternoon.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.